Hello, I'm Sven Olaf Nelson, letterpress printer and designer at Pineapple Press and Design, and today is a special edition of Adventures in Letterpress. I am honored to be partnering with Metro Parks Toledo this year, creating postcards for their event, 5 Poets, 5 Parks. This event highlights 5 different Metro Parks as they send poets to the Metro Parks to write about them. So there's 5 different poems, and they all are different lengths. Some are shorter, some are 7 stanzas, and I needed to fit them all onto the same size postcard. I have a set amount of type in my cabinets, and if I'm setting up 5 poems in the same typeface, I'm going to run out of letters super fast. And because of that, I decided to actually use a technology that was started in 1885 called Linotype. It's a machine that actually casts new type. Think of it a little bit as a steampunk typewriter that's actually producing something you can use to print. These machines, there aren't a lot running in the country, but I'm fortunate enough to be part of a group of printers, and one very local printer has a Linotype casting machine. So I went up to my friend Phil Driscoll's house. He's been willing to teach me how to use these machines.
Now is when the machine will totally screw up.
Yeah, right. Probably.
It's a fascinating machine. Mats are used to cast these new type. They're stored in magazines on the top of this machine. They look like a giant flat funnel, and there are a couple elevators and conveyor belts, but mostly it's all gravity working on this thing. So you type in a keyboard, it correlates to a slot in the magazine that releases one mat. And so once you get a line of these mats, you can then cast the line of type, such the name Linotype. So within a matter of a minute, you can have several lines of typeset cast, and then all the mats put back into the same place so you can reuse the letters over and over again. So the typeface that I chose this year was Benedictine Book. What stood out to me about Benedictine Book were the different characteristics of each letter. There's kind of a back slant to the N's and the H's, and it's a typeface that has never been digitized. And that's kind of important to me because I'm highlighting the old craftsmanship and the old techniques of letterpress printing. And then I hand set the titles in Venus Extended, and then I also set the poets' names in Venus Extended Light. And then the names of the parks I actually wanted to represent in Venus Extra Bold. They all had the same backside, and so there's a little blurb at the top that has a little bit about the 5 poets, 5 parks, and why we do this. And then also down below, I decided this year to add a colophon. I have in there that I printed it, Pineapple Press and Design, and I used Benedictine, and I used Venus. I also tossed in a few what I like to call dingbats or ornaments. One of them is a little flower. I think it was from 1909, if my memory serves right. In that ornament collection, there's also a ladybug that I found. And again, both of those things are pulling into nature, but they're also a little different and a little odd. So I'm taking something old and putting it in some new context so that people just look at it and hopefully enjoy it. They're printed on paper that we had crafted, and we used the Blue Creek Nursery seeds, and we sent those seeds to Porridge Papers in Lincoln, Nebraska, and it is in a color they call thistle, which is kind of a light purple. And then I printed like a navy blue ink on top of them. As I'm printing these postcards on my 1941 Chandler and Price press, I'm able to take a moment just to see all of the different elements coming together. I see that Benedictine book that Phil and I cast at his shop, printed on this paper that was handcrafted for this event from the seeds from Metro Parks Toledo Blue Creek Nursery. I'm able to see the flowers and that ladybug that I chose to put on there all coming together to represent the Metro Parks Toledo 5 Poets, 5 Parks project. I hope you've enjoyed this special edition of Adventures in Letterpress. Stay tuned for more adventures, and I'll see you next time.